Okay, you guys, so welcome to the Monday Night Call. I'm so excited for those of you here or anyone watching the recording. Tonight we have my sweet friend Francesca hopping on here. She is an Emerald Ambassador, and guys, she just found out, she told me 2 weeks ago that she was the top recruiter in the entire state of Texas for customers and ambassadors. And Texas, I want to say, makes up like a third of Plexus. So that's a pretty big deal. We are like our own region. So, girl, that is incredible. I asked her if she could obviously share a little bit about her journey with Plexus, but then maybe some tips that she could give us on just kind of how she works her business and her IPAs and just kind of daily activity that she does in order to make something like that happen. So, Francesca, thank you so much for hopping on here. We really, really appreciate it. So, we would love to just hear a little bit about you.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys, my name's Francesca Fields. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I just celebrated my 3 years with Plexus. I think on January 10th was my sign-up date, 2015. And so much has happened in 3 years, but I'm just going to back up and tell you guys why I started Plexus in the first place. I heard about Plexus for about 6 months before I decided to join. And I was like angry towards Plexus. Like I did not like Plexus at all, because all I thought was that it was like a weight loss scam. Like it was a scheme, like it was one of those dirty pyramid schemes. Like I really wanted nothing to do with it. It was my sister-in-law that was selling it. And like she would come over and I would just avoid the subject like a plague, and honestly thought that I was safe from her like trying to recruit me because I was breastfeeding. So I was like, oh, she can't, no, there's no way I can take that stuff. So it's just funny how somebody like that, sometimes people like that, like I was, turn into the biggest believers, like the biggest skeptic to the biggest believers. So never, if somebody ever like comes at you really angry, don't lose hope in that, because you never know what God's plan for them is, and Plexus might be in it. So I'll kind of back up. I have always been really thin. I've always had a really great metabolism. And so I've always eaten whatever I wanted, and I haven't really had to worry about gaining weight. And so I have just grown up eating processed foods, sugar. I mean, I was a sugar addict. Like if we ever counted up the grams of sugar I ate in a day, I probably should be dead. I mean, I would eat dessert after every single meal. I drank sodas, like at least 2 or 3 sodas a day, all throughout my day, like regular Coke, not like diets any better, but like I went for the real deal. Just kind of did whatever I wanted. And like, I thought it was okay because I didn't gain weight. So at 20 years old was the first time I was told that my cholesterol was high. It's not in my family. It's not genetic. My mom almost had a heart attack when I called her about after getting my lab results, because the doctor was like, "What is happening?" I was training for a marathon at the time, so like I was super fit, like exercised a lot, and literally because of what I put into my mouth, my cholesterol was high. And so just because somebody is thin, like there is such a thing called skinny fat, like that's a real thing. That was me. And so I remember after I got the news, my mom took me to Whole Foods because they gave me this list, I'll never forget it, of the stuff that I couldn't eat. And it was like pasta, white bread, sugar, soda, candy. And I was like, what do I eat? Literally, this is my diet. Like I was like befuddled, like, what do I eat? So my mom took me to Whole Foods and we got like, whole grain pasta and all this really yucky stuff. And for 2 weeks, I tried. Like for 2 weeks, I'd make like whole grain pasta without butter and like try to get my cholesterol down. And I literally just gave up. I was like, whatever, I'm 20. Like this is for the birds. So kind of just went on about, my way. And when I got pregnant, I was 27 the first time, I think. 26 maybe. I got pregnant, and that's kind of when everything came crashing down on me. I had a really difficult pregnancy with my first. She's just turned 4. Super sick, really bad heartburn, really bad nausea, really bad fatigue. I had a really hard time with pregnancy, and everyone just kept saying like, hey girl, when you have this baby, you're going to feel a-okay. Everything's going to go back to normal. Don't worry about it. And so, I was like banking on that, and I had her and nothing went back to normal. I was struck with some pretty bad postpartum depression, which was shocking. It was probably one of the darkest periods of my life because, you're pregnant for 9 months and you're waiting for this baby and you have this baby, and it's like, you're just like, can somebody take this baby back? Like, that's how I felt. My husband would walk in and I'd be holding her and just like crying, like tears falling all over her because it was just such a dark time. I wasn't sleeping very well. Even when she started sleeping, I wasn't sleeping very well. I was craving like all the nasty stuff. I was taking those pills that made you smell like maple syrup to try to get your breast milk supply up. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever taken those fenugreek pills. I had very low milk supply. And so it was like constant, weight checks at the doctor, just really stressful. Everything about it was stressful. And, it was just a really hard time. So she was almost a year, and I was having a hard time losing the baby weight too, which was kind of an identity crisis for me, not to be like back in my little skinny jeans right away. And so it was just, and that's not why I started Plexus, but like, it was just a very difficult time. So I went back to the doctor to get my like normal lab results taken, and I was 27, I was almost 28. And they called me and they said, all right, your cholesterol is just too high. Like, you have about 3 months to bring it down, or we're going to put you on medication. Like, we've got to get this under control. And that was it. That was my bottom. I think we all reach a point where we just like hit our bottom and like, we're desperate. Anything looks good. And you never know when that's going to be for somebody, but that's when it was for me. And so it was about a month after that. And I was feeling super hopeless about it because I had tried to eat better. I had tried to consume things that would bring my cholesterol down. I had tried those fish pills that make you burp up lemon fish all day. Like, I tried all that stuff, and I knew that myself could not stick to it. And so I was feeling really hopeless. And I was feeling really hopeless about being on a prescription medication before the age of 30 for the rest of my life. And I was at that place. So I actually hooked up my best friend with my sister-in-law. She was looking for a stay-at-home, like work-from-home job, making $500 a month. And so I was like, well, my sister-in-law sells Plexus. Like, I'll hook you guys up. So I hooked him up, and she took my friend to the opportunity event before Super Saturday in 2015, which is so crazy. Those things are really awesome, y'all. Like, if you ever use those as a business tool, because that completely changed my sister-in-law's business. So my friend called me the next day. It was Saturday, so I guess it was Super Saturday day. And she was like, hey, this can help your cholesterol. I was like, really? Like, I don't see how, but like, okay, I'm open to listening. Like, I'm all ears for you. And she explained the triplex, and I was like, there is no way I can afford $100 a month on products, because I was a social worker. I have my master's in social work. I worked for child protection for many years and then quit when I had my daughter. And we didn't have it in the budget. Like, I did not have $100 extra a month to buy like supplements. But I did it. I bought it. I signed up for wholesale. I was not going to work the business. I told her, and I told my sister-in-law, I was like, no one's going to buy this from me. My network is not a network of people who would spend $100 a month on supplements. Like, I'm not going to be successful at the business, but like, I will try this for my own health. I just had no confidence that I wasn't a salesperson. Like, all the stuff we hear every single day that we sign somebody up, I was not going to post on social media. Like, I was not going to be that girl. And something, I don't even know what it was. Like, I said all that stuff, and then the next day I made a post on social media, and it was really vulnerable. I think that's one part that y'all should know about me, is that I have no problems being vulnerable and transparent with people. I actually got sober when I was 16 years old. I went to a treatment center for almost a year, grew up in recovery. I've just celebrated 14 years of sobriety in October. And so I was kind of grew up in this culture where you had to be really transparent and vulnerable. And so I was really used to doing that. And y'all, if you don't do that, then I really try to start letting people into little pieces of yourself. And that doesn't mean like post on Facebook, like ragging on your husband or like doing really inappropriate things, but let people in a little bit, like be vulnerable. It doesn't have to look 100% peachy all the time on Facebook. I remember I did this one post, like when I had my second daughter, who's 2 now. And I just remember like trying to make dinner with a 2-year-old and a newborn and like literally screaming the F word because it was like, this is impossible. And I made a post on Facebook that was like, I literally don't understand how you make dinner if you have 2 or more kids. Like what am I missing? What's the secret? And just the love I got from that. Like, thank you for saying that you're not perfect. Thank you for saying you don't have it all together. So just things like that, you guys, like work on that transparency, work on that vulnerability, because it's really going to help in building those relationships. So that's what I did. I made a post and I just told everyone like what I was struggling with, that I was having postpartum depression and that I believed I was a sugar addict and that this is before compliance really like buckled down on us. So we could say all those things about postpartum depression and all that stuff. Talked about my cholesterol and people were like, oh, I had no idea. Like, I totally support you. Keep us posted. I got so much love that it really, and I got so many messages from people that were like, tell me how this works for you. I haven't told many people this, but like I'm struggling with depression too, or I have cholesterol issues too. And so many people just coming to me saying, thank you for saying that because this is what I'm struggling with and I haven't wanted to say it before. So it really drove me to start to kind of share my journey. And that's how I looked at it. Like, I didn't just like start right off posting like a graphic of the pink drink. It was more like, here's my journey, like walking through that. So it took me 2 months to get to silver. I signed up a lot of preferred customers at the beginning, and I don't think I really saw it as like a long-term business thing. But Rosalind Payne, my diamond ambassador, came to my house a month after I signed up for a sip and see, and she breathed the vision into me. I saw this like after talking to her and like, she was like, you want to see my Lexus? And I was like, yeah, what? So she like had her Lexus parked out in my front yard. And something hit me of like, this is it. This is a way of financial freedom for my family to where like I get to have it all. Because I think as women we're taught we don't get to have it all. You can be a career woman and put your kids in daycare and it's a lot of mom shaming, but like put your kids in daycare and like you have your career and like your kids part-time or whatever. Or you can stay at home and lose your identity, lose yourself to your kids, and you can't have a career. You can't provide in that way. But you can't have it all as a woman. Y'all, we have an opportunity in a company and a business that allows us to have it all, literally have it all. Like I have a way of being with my kids, but then providing substantially to my family at the same time. Like that is a gift that we must share. And that's really how I feel now, is that I have something that I can't just keep to myself. And so I kind of caught the vision. And from then on, like I tried to run with it. Here's the part where I got stuck. I did not want to message people. And so I was about a year and a half into my business. And I can't even tell you how many conversations I've had with my upline where I was like, I'm just stuck. My team's not doing anything. Nobody's signing people up. I can't get past senior goal, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I can't even, she probably just like put me on the phone, put me on mute and like did her dishes or something while I just like whined and cried to her on the phone every day. I'm not even kidding. I was so negative. And, I was watching an Emily Roberts video. I just kind of, for a long time, I just really loved watching her videos. She really spoke to me. And so I was watching a video and it hit me like square between the eyes. I don't even know what she said, but it was like really convicted me of, I sit here and complain about what my team does or doesn't do. And I am spewing to them 531 and I am spewing to them reaching out to people. And I'm not doing that. And it was like, oh my God, duh. Like I can't tell my team to do something that I myself am not willing to do. And so I made a commitment to myself right then and there. This was like April 2016. So it was almost a year and a half in. And I was like, okay, this is the last day that I focus on what my team is or is not doing. And I'm going to start focusing on myself and what I'm doing. So I literally printed off a blank calendar from Google. I Googled blank calendar. It was about, I think it was probably 60 days worth of little blank tiles. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I printed that off. I downloaded my Facebook friends list. There's a way to do that onto your computer. And I literally started writing 5 names on each calendar block. And I made a commitment to myself that I would not go to bed at night until I messaged those 5 people, period. And that's what I started to do. I formulated this really like short and sweet little message. I've memorized it by now. It's, hey girl, and I always go to their page first and I look and I see what's going on. Like if their dog died or their grandma's in the hospital, like put them down below, switch them out with somebody. Like make sure you know what's happening in their life before you just, message them about Plexus. But I would look on their page and I would say, hey girl, I love following your family. Your sweet Bentley is so cute. I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post and how much I love these products. Would you be at all interested in some information or a sample? And then I'd put like little hearts. And I would just send that to every single person, all 5 of them on my list. And I would do it right before bed so that I could turn my phone off and go to sleep and not think about like what they said or didn't say. That's the commitment I made to myself. And that it went from being literally like cold sweat, terrifying, like shaking, messaging someone to it being no big deal. Like now it is no big deal for me to message somebody about Plexus. But it took practice to get to that point. So that's kind of like in a nutshell daily what I would do for my IPA stuff. But what's really helped me grow my business, obviously I told you guys, this was my 3rd year in Plexus. And I hear a lot of people say, I've reached out to everybody I know, but I've already gone through my market. Like I have nobody else. That was my 3rd year in Plexus, and I signed up almost 150 people myself in my 3rd year of Plexus because of expanding my network. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I do to expand my network, and this is hands down 100% coupled with the relationship building and the messaging, why I've recruited so many people in my 3rd year. So this was all kind of accidental, but now it's like my system. It's what I do. I joined this mom's group when I was pregnant with my 4-year-old, and I just realized I like never gave the good part of my health testimony. Obviously, Plexus really helped me, okay? I feel great. Everything's good. Cholesterol is down. We're all good, okay? I'm like, everything sucked, and then I started posting on Facebook, and yay. So it's all good. So I joined this Facebook group, and it was like January Moms 2014. So the month and the year that my daughter was due, and I just started building a relationship with these moms. We would ask each other questions like, hey, do you pee your pants when you sneeze? Like, hey, do you have this and this and this? And like, we just all got really, really close with each other. And so it was really a great resource. It was really helpful. And so then when I was pregnant with my 2-year-old, I joined a December 2015 group. And I think I just joined one. This was before I knew. So I joined another one. We got super close. And one day I was in church. I think our girls had just been born. And somebody, all of a sudden, like I started getting all these friend requests, like hundreds of them from these moms in this group. And I was like, what's happening? And so somebody had posted on there, hey, y'all, we've been together for like 2 years now. And I really feel like y'all are my friends. Like, have we gotten to the point where we can become Facebook friends? And everyone was like blowing it up, like so excited. Everyone just started friending everybody. So I made like 200 friends in the course of 3 days on Facebook. And I was like, this is brilliant. So I went into my January Moms group And I said, hey, y'all, like, we've been friends for 4 years. Like, does anybody want to make it Facebook official? Oh my gosh, all these people. I was like, comment if you are okay being friended. And like all these people. So I literally expanded by like 400 people. So I was like, okay, I need to get some sort of like system into place, because I need to really be intentional about cultivating these relationships and how I'm going to start reaching out to them. And so I also joined another group for my 2-year-old after this all happened, when I realized that this was a really brilliant way of expanding your network. And I kind of started from scratch more intentionally with building these relationships. And I'll tell you how I do that too, because I'm 20 weeks, I'm sorry, I didn't mention this. I'm almost 20 weeks pregnant with my third, and I've joined tons of groups with the intention of building relationships and expanding my network. So anyways, I started putting all of these people that I friended from these groups into a separate Facebook distribution list. I don't know if you guys know how to do this, but if you go to your Facebook and you go to like the home screen, I think, and you go to friends list, you can make a friends list. So I literally put like mommy friends, and I started adding every single one of these people to that distribution list so that when I went to Facebook, I could click that and only see these people in my newsfeed. So like totally block out everybody else, all the other Plexus friends I had, and just see these people. And I made that a very big part of my IPA, to go through that friends list and start commenting on people's stuff, start building relationships. So it's a picture of their kid, like, oh my God, your kid is so cute. Or somebody's sick, like, I'm praying for you guys. Or even message them like, hey, I'm so sorry y'all feel bad, I'm praying for you. I did not mention Plexus for a couple months after I friended these people. I was really, really intentional about reaching out. And I also sent, for one group of them that friended me, I sent them like a little message and said like, hey, I'm so excited to connect with mommy friends. Like, I'm so glad we're, being friends now, or whatever. And just like sent them a little message, and then spent the next couple months being really intentional about commenting on their stuff and just building a relationship. And so I did that in the group that I joined after. And this is kind of how like I got into this group is I joined the group, I made a post, I put like a really, like a picture of my family. And I just was like, hey, I'm Francesca from Richardson, Texas. I'm 30 years old. I've got 2 kids. These are my kids. I love connecting with moms on Facebook. It's been a huge outlet for me. Yada, yada, yada. Post the picture. Every time somebody's like, welcome, it's so nice to meet you, these are my kids, reply to it. Like, it's so nice to meet you, Amy, like, we can't wait to get to know you a little bit better. And then every single day I would go to that group and I would try to make some sort of post that added value. So, you find like a really good food pouch, like, hey, have y'all ever tried this? My kid loves it and it's really clean ingredients. Or you find like a good nose sucker or something, like, like a snot sucker, and you like post that in there, or just some sort of post that adds value to where people want to come, or even like a silly post, like even a post where it's like, I'm in a pregnancy one now, and literally a post that would be like, I can't even blow my nose without peeing my pants. And people think that's freaking hilarious. And they just like, everybody wants to comment like, oh my God, bro, me too. Like, I have to wear diapers or whatever. Like, people just go nuts, where you just like connect with people. Like, you laugh with people and they want to comment on your stuff. And so the point of it being, and then I would also like scroll through and comment on other people's posts, like just getting my name out there, because the point of it is like, when your name is recognized, you become trusted. Like, there's just some sort of like connection between somebody recognizing your name in a Facebook group and them like trusting you, as long as you're not like somebody that's being really mean to people. But if you're somebody that's adding value constantly and somebody that's funny and connecting with people, they're going to start to trust you even though they've never met you. So I do that for about 2 months, where I just get my name really, really out there. And then at some point I'm like, I make a post like, hey, I really love seeing your babies on my newsfeed every day. Does anybody care, or does anybody want to be Facebook friends? If you don't mind being Facebook friended, just comment yes here, and let's just have a friending party. And so that's what I did with the group that I had joined after all of this, and made hundreds of friends. So I had expanded my network by like 600 people last year, just from these mom groups. So most of the people that I'm signing up to my team, I've never met in real life. Like people in Canada and all over the US, like I've never met them before, but we've just connected on Facebook. So after about 2 months of them being my friend on Facebook and me connecting with them and commenting on their stuff, there's two things that I like, either or, that I like to do. One of them is invite them to a Facebook event. We run one every other week on our team, and I've just got a really short and sweet little invitation, and I say like, hey girl, I'm sending out some last minute invites for a Facebook event I'm having on Thursday at 8:30. It's no sales, it's just information and prizes. Would you like an invite? People, that is so non-threatening. People are like, yeah, sure, of course. Like, yeah, send me one, whatever. And so that's one way. And so I get them into my testimony page and, tag them in the Facebook event. And then, of course, always follow up. Or I send them that message that I told you guys that I created, like, along that, just that really short and sweet, like, would you like more information or a sample? And that's how I reach out to them about Plexus. And then, of course, they're going to continue seeing my stuff on Facebook. Now, if somebody says no, or like, no, thank you, or not right now, or blah, 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 like, that's for me, like, that's a flag to, well, of course, I just say like, okay, girl, have a great weekend. If you ever change your mind, let me know, like, super duper duper sweet. And then that's, for me, an indication to really start connecting with them, like to really start commenting on their stuff and really start building that relationship. And I've had so many people come back around and be like, okay. Like, what is this Plexus stuff? Like, fine, you got me. And having people join that way too. Just the purpose of it is, if you have a sincere desire to build relationships with people, to really find a way to connect to people, with it not being about Plexus first. Like, I will never post, or I have before, like a couple times, but generally speaking, I will never post in Facebook groups about Plexus, like these mom groups that I'm building relationships in, because it just automatically damages your credibility. I always take it outside of the group and a couple months later. So it is not an overnight process. If you're looking for overnight results, this is not it, but this is going to help you build like a really strong warm market. Because as you're working through your warm market now, you've got to be warming up a cold market. You never want to be without a warm market. And if you are not intentionally doing that right now, you will run out and you will have a really dry season where you're scrambling to like warm up a cold market. So just start doing it to where, as you're going to these people that are really close with you now, you're warming up people that you don't know. I decide to do it through Facebook groups. Now, I really relate to being a stay-at-home mom. Being a mom, I'm in the time of my life where I'm pregnant and raising really young kids. And so that's my go-to, because when I do friend them, that's what they're going to see on my page. Like, if I joined a dog group, they'd be like, this fool does not even have a dog. Like, she is a creeper. And so that's not going to work for me. But maybe you're like, what do they call them? A fur mom? Maybe you're a fur mom. Maybe that's your thing. Join dog groups, because when they friend you, they're going to relate to you because they're going to see dogs on your Facebook. Or maybe you're a vegan, or maybe you really like to garden, or maybe you use your Instapot every night, or I don't know, what else do people do? Maybe you like to do makeup and stuff. Like, whatever your passion is, whatever you post about besides Plexus on your Facebook, because remember, I post Plexus maybe once a day, and then I try to post something personal twice a day, 2 other times. So the majority of my page, I feel like, is probably personal. So whatever you post about on Facebook that's not Plexus, start joining those groups, those interest groups, because they're going to relate to you and connect with you. And you're really going to start building those friendships with people if you do that. And I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I don't know. That's how I did it. I hope that was not a jumbled mess.
No, that was incredible. I am so glad I recorded this. And that's the thing, like you have so much strategy behind it, but it's not strategy like you're trying to manipulate people or dupe people or it truly is. It's strategy for growing your network and building friendships. And we're actually going through, a couple of us going through the book, Get Over Your Damn Self.
Yeah.
And we're in the chapter where they're talking about networking and growing your network. And one of the notes I had is like, you just think of all the friendships that we have of those who are already on our team. And like, it just gets me excited about thinking about all these people as I'm growing with my network that I haven't even met yet. And like those friendships that are going to be there because of this business, because of this networking that we do, and it's relationship marketing. And so one question, so it seems like you don't ever really just kind of cold message people with like, you seem to have a lot of strategy behind. If you message them, it's going to be either very personal to something they did or inviting them to an event. You don't just like blast out cold messages to people. So like, is I correct in that?
I have. It's never been successful for me. So the successful ones have been just a really personal, because, okay, think about like, have y'all ever gotten a message from somebody in another company where it's just like super long, you start to read it and you're like, oh yeah. And that you just don't even read it. Like, at least for me, like I just don't even read it. But if it's like somebody that I know and love, and it's really, somebody sent me a message the other day. No, this was like a year or so ago. And they were trying to recruit me to a different company, skincare stuff. And like, not my deal, not my thing. Like, I don't have time for that. But if it has to do with makeup or hair or anything, like, you're barking up the wrong tree, because I wash my hair like once a week. But the message was like, really, it made me feel really good. It was like, girl, I love your page. You are so spunky. Like, you have this, your personality, and like, you're so beautiful. And I mean, I just was like beaming after this message. And it was like, okay, this is good. And so this was even before I think I started messaging people like that. And I just remember thinking like, okay, that made me feel really good. Like, that's what I want to incorporate into my message. And it wasn't super long, and it wasn't threatening at all. And so, and we kind of had a relationship. So I just kind of took from that and tailored it to like, how would I want to be reached out to? And I have never gotten like a bad response from somebody that I've done that with. Like, I've gotten no thank yous, never like, don't ever message me again. Like, how dare you, ever. So.
Well, and obviously it's very successful. So, I mean, look at your last year. So,
and there's a time of planting seeds. So like, y'all heard me, I started in May 2016. I'll never forget it, because it was like, I was doing this when I was at convention in Vegas. I had just kind of like started my little routine. That's why I remember the time frame. So that was May 2016, and like, it started gearing up towards the end of that year. And then 2017, because of that consistency and all those seeds I had planted, was booming, because there's that 90-day rule, and it's so true. What you do today determines how your business will look in the next 90 days. It's never automatic. It's never just like instant results. And I think that's why we get people that kind of give up after the first 60 days with the business, because they want it to happen now, and it's not going to. You've got to be really consistent. And if you are waiting for motivation, you will be waiting forever. Action always comes before motivation. So remember that. If you want to feel motivated and excited and encouraged, you need to start taking action first, even when you don't feel like it. And that's just kind of what I tell people. And it is for some people and it's not for others. But like, if you do that and you're consistent, you will have success in this.
Yeah. Jara, you had a question? Gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay. So how often do you run your Facebook friends list? Like,
download it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm super old school as far as like pen and paper. I wish I had my notebook with me, but I don't. Now, anytime that I like expand my network, when you're on your Facebook Messenger, anytime you have a new friend, it'll say like new next to their name. Do you know what I'm saying? So like ever so often, I'll scroll through that, and I have a Frank's list in my notebook. So I just continuously write down the names of the people that I friended. And so I don't necessarily download my list anymore, but I keep like a running log of who's new, if that makes sense.
It's in Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, like if you look in your Messenger and you friended somebody recently, it'll show, let me try to find one.
Yeah, it'll pop up almost like a new message.
I don't know if you can see that. You see the gray box right there where it says new?
Yeah.
So that's a new friend. So I'll literally scroll to where I stopped and then just start writing those names down. I'm really old school though. Like pen and paper is how I connect with stuff. So.
I would love to see your IPA sheet. That would be cool.
Okay, so another question.
Well, now I had it written down on my computer in my notes, but it's really basic. Like I'll go to, of course, I do all the team call stuff. So it was a lot simpler when I didn't have a big team, but like now I do like the team page posting and stuff like that. But really, even for now, like I'm pregnant, I'm trying to expand my network again because I really signed up a bulk of like those people that my warm market last year. And so now I'm going through that whole process again. And it's really important to me to, all those groups that I joined recently that I'm trying to expand in, if you, on your Facebook, you can add it to like shortcuts so that when I go to my Facebook and I go to groups, they're all right there. And so I just literally click through them. I try to make a post and then I just scroll and start commenting on stuff. Probably in about 2 months or so, I will do the whole, like, does anybody want to be Facebook friends, and do it that way. And then of course, something new that I'm trying this month, I've never done it before, is literally yesterday I made a list of about 50 people and I called it my February Franks, and I put them into a separate distribution list on my Facebook so that when I go to Facebook, I can click them and start to comment on their stuff before I reach out to them a little bit later this month. So I do that. I follow up all the time. I have on my calendar, our planner that we got from Plexus, from last month. So if anybody last month was like, I'm ordering in February, I will go to February, I will write their name down. And I'll write anybody's name down who messages me about Plexus, asks me questions. And so that I've got my like hot leads follow-ups, like right there at the top of my planner. And I follow up with them often. We do Facebook events every other week, so I always invite them to that. And just really follow up with them about attending and what they thought about it. What else do I do? Randomly, sometimes I'll post in garage sale Facebook groups, but that's not, I'll like maybe get somebody every couple of months doing that. So it's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. And then Facebook, posting on Facebook. But that's about it. Daily, that's what I try to do. Try to listen to some sort of coaching. Like I love going to YouTube and just typing in like some sort of Plexus training and listening to a Plexus training or something like that too for myself. But
Tara, did you have another question?
Yeah, I guess I was just wondering about your sequence of posting. So say they were in your mom group and then you added them as a personal friend. How soon do you message them out and be like, hey, I want to send you a sample, or you want to talk about this or whatever? I mean, you start warming up the market again on a more personal note and go to their page. And how long do you do that before you reach out?
A couple months. Yeah. Okay. So this is not a fast process. This is something that you're going to start working on, and it's going to take about 4 months, at least 4 to 5 months, to get them onto your page and at a place where you can message them about Plexus.
Okay, good. Okay.
It's about 2 months in the group of being really intentional, and then about 2 months outside of the group. And then I feel comfortable messaging them about it.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? You want to ask her? I mean, I feel like you covered so much. My mind is spinning. I'm like, I need to watch this again, like right now. Because I try to take notes, and then I don't know. I always get distracted when I'm taking notes. So.
And another thing, if y'all are going to start looking for groups to join, I do not join the ones that are like 1,000+ members. There are some mom groups with like 20,000 members. You are not going to get connected and recognized in that Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just no way. And so, I think my 4-year-old's sleepwalking. Everly, you okay, babe?
Liam does that.
You okay? Okay. You okay? This has never happened before. Sorry.
No, that's okay, girl. No, you've covered so much. I mean, and we can pick your brain later. We'll let you go take care of your baby, okay?
Okay. Bye, y'all.